Hey guys, so quick little announcement before I start this review. And if you guys don't care about my announcement, you can skip to, I want to put the point right here, where you could skip to this point if you don't want to hear my announcements. So for everyone who does, here we go. Now, in response to why I haven't made a new video in a while, the big reason is because of my very busy schedule right now. I've just been so busy with everything else that I've had to put my reviews on the back burner. As a result, I am 3 reviews behind. So, here's what's going to happen. I'm taking the next 3 reviews, which are going to be over the next 3 days, and put them in order of how much I have from the most to say to the least to say. So, you're going to get this review today. I'll give you guys my review of The Jungle Book tomorrow, my review of Miracles from Heaven on Tuesday, and then I have a movie on Amazon Instant Video called Regression, which I'm going to watch on Wednesday, and review for Wednesday. And then Thursday I'm going to give you guys my most anticipated movies of summer 2016, and I'm hoping this weekend I can review Captain America Civil War if I have some time. If I have time to go see it and review it, I want to talk about it, but if not, don't be too upset if I don't review it right away. It's just, again, busy schedule, but I'm finally getting some time off of my schedule. But with all that said, let's get into my review. Hey everybody, I'm Sean from Blue Pizza Reviews, and welcome to my review for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Now, in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, we again follow Superman, once again played by Henry Cavill, who is dealing with the repercussions of what happened in Metropolis at the end of Man of Steel. And people are beginning to wonder how much good Superman is really doing. From this, he garners the attention of billionaire Bruce Wayne from Gotham, who is played by Ben Affleck, who we all also know is Batman. And what results is a very intense action movie that's very hard to discuss without spoiling, even though the trailer did that fairly well. A lot of details, but we're going to look past that. Now I'm going to be honest about something here. I didn't do my list of my most anticipated movies of 2016 because, again, like I said in my last review, very busy schedule. But this was my most anticipated movie of the year. And I was pretty discouraged when I saw the negative reception prior to this movie's release. But I didn't let it dishearten me from seeing this movie because I'm a huge DC fan. I mean, I have this, for crying out loud. And yeah, but I will say right now that after seeing this movie, I don't see what all the fuss is about because I personally loved this movie. So let's dive in. Let's start off with the performances. We'll start with Henry Cavill because he's the big returning character from the first movie, from Man of Steel. And I'll be honest here, after Christopher Reeve, we've had a hard time finding a new person to take on the role of Superman. And honestly, I think he did a great job. He really is one of the better portrayals of Superman we've had. But there's something that the Honest trailer for the 1978 Superman movie had said that I want to reiterate here. And it was when, I assume it was the Honest trailer voiced Superman's daughter, who said that in Man of Steel, Superman in that film was an embodiment of what we are, not so much what we want him to be. Which I think is part of the reason why people didn't like the first Man of Steel. And this is coming from a guy who loved Man of Steel. I loved that movie. But I will admit I would have liked it better if Superman had followed more to his original tropes in the first movie. In this movie, he does. And the reason why I say that the brooding version of Superman really doesn't work very well is because that's what Batman is for. And let's talk about Batman in this movie. Ben Affleck is probably one of the best Batmans we've had in a while. He for sure is better than Christian Bale. And he portrays the characters, he understands both Bruce Wayne and Batman. I really like how his character goes through different layers and different structure. They don't spend an hour of this movie with Bruce Wayne brooding over his parents being dead. It's shown like 3 times in the entire movie, and they're all very brief. Once at the beginning of the movie, which is the longest time we see of it. We star Amy Adams as Lois Lane. And I'll be honest here, while I don't really see Amy Adams as like the big reporter character in these movies, I do still like her in the movie. She's not the best portrayal of Lois Lane, but she gets the job done. Now we come to the 2 that I was really hesitant for going in. First is Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Now, we haven't really had a Wonder Woman on the big screen before this. So this was Wonder Woman's big introduction to the movie scene, and I gotta say, Gal Gadot was great in this movie. You don't see a lot of her in this movie, but that's kind of not what the point of the movie is. And oh boy, here we go. Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I actually liked him in this movie. Now, he's no Gene Hackman and he's no Kevin Spacey. Okay, they are my two favorite portrayals of Lex Luthor in the movies. But I understand what Eisenberg was trying to do. I'm not really so worried about there being a zany, over-the-top villain. I guess it's because the last times this happened were in Joel Schumacher's case, and that didn't work very well. But getting out of the acting now, we dive into the next portion of this movie, which is the story, of course. Now, this is where a lot of people who saw the movie were critiquing it. Was primarily in the story department, saying that the movie is far too bloated. With being a Man of Steel sequel, solo Batman movie, Batman v Superman, and the Dawn of Justice storyline. To a lot of people, this was way too crowded. I disagree, and I'll tell you why. Because, yeah, what DC's trying to do is they're trying to compete with Marvel's Avengers movies. But they don't have that much time. We've had 2 Avengers movies, and we're just now trying to get DC off the ground. And it seems that unless Batman's the titular star of your movie, DC movies aren't going to do well these days, which I think is very unfortunate. And it's kind of a bad way of looking at it, in my personal opinion. But for what they were trying to do and the way they were trying to do it, I appreciated Zack Snyder's direction. Speaking of that, I like how Zack Snyder made this movie. So when it comes to the direction of this movie, I appreciate Snyder's different tone, I'll say. Particularly during the very opening scene in this movie, which I don't want to give away, but the opening scene was fantastic. Put a lot into this movie, but again, like I said, DC's trying to compete with Marvel. And I still think, but at the core, they're still trying to make a cohesive story, and I think they're doing a pretty good job with that. While there are a couple of moments that I will admit do kind of drag on, they don't really have the main focus of the movie. But this is a superhero movie, and you want to see the superheroes fight. And the last 30 or so minutes of this movie are some of the best action scenes I've seen in a superhero movie in quite some time. The final fight, which contains the fight between Batman and Superman, and then the fight against Doomsday, which you see in the trailer for the film, they're all incredibly awesome. They more than make up the price tickets for what you really want to see. But that's not the only big action scene in the movie. There are scenes with Superman, there are scenes with Batman being kick-ass. You're really going to find a lot to enjoy in that regard. So when it comes to what I didn't like about this movie, there are really only 2 major things. For one, I think that the movie did drag on 1 or 2 scenes. There are 1 or 2 moments during this movie that I think that could have been sped up or paced a little bit better, and the film could have benefited from it. The only other problem I have really comes from how the Justice League are really introduced. Because the movie's called Dawn of Justice, so clearly they're going to build up the Justice League. And this is really my biggest complaint with the movie, is that the Justice League build-up wasn't very good. It just all seemed very convenient, at least for my taste. I think a lot of people seem to agree with me. So overall, I really enjoyed Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. And I keep hearing about this R-rated director's cut that's going to be out when the movie hits Blu-ray. And needless to say, I'm very interested to see that. Because it looks like DC's really trying to step up their game here. And they obviously couldn't release the R-rated cut in theaters, or else they were going to lose a large part of their demographic. But I am still curious to see what they're going to do with that cut of the movie. So and I'm really kind of discouraged that this movie didn't do well at the box office, because it seems like it's now on its way to being a big box office bomb, which I hope doesn't happen. Because, again, I love this movie. I give Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice an A. So, yeah, it's not the most well-made movie of the year, but you know what? It's one of the more enthralling movies I've seen this year, and hey, I got what I wanted to see. So that's my take on Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. Now I want to hear from you guys. Have you seen this movie? And if so, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I'll see you guys tomorrow for my next review. Until then, I'm Sean from Blue Pizza Reviews. Peace to all of you, and have a wonderful day.